Smart-TECNIC. So yes, everyone, the Tanto is finally back on the road, and Keiko, if you don't know Keiko is our Daihatsu Tanto Custom RS, no less, that I had imported a few years ago now, actually. Keiko has not been on the road for a while. In fact, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. She's currently on 62,193 kilometers, which is less than 500 kilometers. So is that 300 odd miles since her last MOT. We're filming this in July 2026. The last MOT was November 2023. Yes, our imported K car has had a big rest, tucked up in the carport, and she hasn't moved. No real deliberate reason other than being at the back of the carport means that you have to move. And I know this is a first world problem, everyone. We would have to move 3 vehicles to get Keiko out, and it just so happened that life ticked on and time passed, and suddenly realised Keiko hadn't been on the road for a while. It's a hot day in July in the UK, everyone, and I'm pleased to say that the aircon in this car is still working, and it is on at this moment in time. Now, the observant viewers amongst you will notice I'm in a different t-shirt to the intro. More about that in a minute, but obviously, yes, I do take this Tanto to see Ben and Jack at Smart-TECNIC. Let's have a quick look around what I call the playground, or what's left of the playground. I'll explain in the clip. Let's have a look around the playground at Smart-TECNIC. I'll see you in a minute. When I first saw the playground at Ben's, this was awesome. It has been reduced, unfortunately, since then because of the requirements of HS2 going on. But I still like to have a quick peek at what's here. But it used to be so much fun walking around all the bits. Oh, we've got the extra boot there, and Beavis is still here, although they have put the hedge back a bit. There's a lot less stuff to look at. Ben's 4.4 over there, still with the additional roof fitted to the top. Yeah, used to enjoy it when there was a lot more stuff here, and our 450 has benefited from a few parts that were found down here, to be fair, including the door glass, quarter light, and even the mirrors, both mirrors. So for this video, really, I think I want to discuss what we've had done to Keiko, and I want to discuss about something that many people ask me with this car, whether it's in the comment section or when we're at shows. How do you get on with sourcing parts for a Daihatsu Tanto, which of course, if you were in Japan, there's absolutely hundreds of thousands of these on the road, but there aren't many in the UK. How do you get on with sourcing parts? So first things first, what have we had done to Keiko? Well, she needed tyres. The tyres were quite old, the walls were cracking, and I found out that the size of tyre that's fitted to this car, whilst obviously tyres are no doubt plentiful in Japan, where Keiko came from, they're not so plentiful in the size that she needs in the UK. In fact, the supplier that I used could only offer 2. I tried black circles, and I put the tyre size in. I didn't rely on the registration number, because a lot of online systems in the UK, you put the registration number of this car and it basically says, So I put the tyre size in black circles, and the first time ever using that website, it came back and said no results. So my tyre supplier gave me 2 options. I could have Yokos, so Yokohamas, but I think they were about 140 something pound a corner. or a brand that I've never heard of, but apparently people get on with. I think they were around 55, 60 pound a corner. The problem I had really was, obviously I do like quality tyres. In fact, I've just fitted 2 Michelin Pilot Sport 5s on Chloe, our Renault Clio. She's still got her original, well, not original, but she's still got what would have been fitted originally to her, Michelin Pilot Sport 4s on the rear. I am actually quite fussy with tyres. I get on well with Kumo tyres, and Freya has got Kumo tyres on at the moment. I like Kumo tyres. I think they're a good mid-range tyre. Let me know in the comments what tyre makes you prefer. The problem I had with Keiko is, well, as I've already said, she hadn't really been far. She hadn't actually been anywhere since sort of mid-2024. So it's like, well, it's not really being used. I couldn't really justify the £140 a corner for the Yokos, so I have gone for the other make. But yeah, there were only 2 choices of tyres that was available, or at least there were with the supplier that I use. What else have we had done before I got to Smart-TECNIC? Oh, I've used that turtle wax stuff again. I forget what it's called. I've used it once before on Keiko because whoever owned the car, this car was a one-owner car, I remember, in Japan. They had a dog. I love dogs. I love all animals, but there was quite a smell of dogs in the car. So to freshen it up, I used the stuff that I've now put the name of at the bottom of the screen. Well, I've used that again, so the aircon's smelling really nice. And then it was a case of, well, I want to get the oil and filter done and a bit of a check over of the car. Obviously, she hasn't done many miles since the last oil and filter that was done with Ben at Smart-TECNIC, but I thought, you know, oil is the lifeblood of a car at the end of the day. So we went to Smart-TECNIC to get that. Now, the filter, I always buy a HKS. HKS, I think, is like a, you can let me know if I got this wrong in the comments, folks, is like a sporting arm of, or a sporting manufacturer of products for Japanese vehicles, basically. I believe it's a very good make. So I always end up ordering the filter online. Now, of course, when you own a car like this, and we're going to talk about parts supply in a second, I'll get to the point, but when you own a car like this, what you find really useful, and it's certainly what I'm doing, is I'm keeping a notepad on my phone of part numbers as I get to know the part numbers, because part numbers is king, isn't it? If you know the part number, you've got half a chance of being able to find the part that you want. Finding the part number can be problematic, and we'll get back to why that is in a minute. So, of course, the oil filter, I just see who on eBay is currently selling the HKS oil filter, and I order that and it comes from Japan. That's absolutely fine. The plugs were done last time, and the plugs will last for years, to be fair, so I don't need any more plugs, but I have the part number for the plugs, of course. The oil, well, the oil that Ben uses at Smart-TECNIC is a top quality oil, and it's suitable for this car, so Ben supplies the oil. But then while we were there, I've kept thinking to myself, the KF-DET3 engine that's fitted to this, so the 64 horsepower 3-cylinder turbocharged engine with its CVT auto gearbox in this car, it looked to me like the 2 belts. So you've got, I guess, the alternator belt and an air compressor belt. They look quite old, and obviously on a normal big service you would have the belts done, wouldn't you? So I asked Jack, that was doing the oil and filter in this car, just to have a look, see if we could get the part numbers off them, and then let's see if we could source parts. Now, they say every day is a school day, don't they, everyone? I didn't realise until Ben let me know that whilst having the part number for the belts is handy, actually there's another code on belts that's printed, which is to do with the size, and he only needed that. So it turned out that yes, we could get the part number and the size number, not size references, off the belts, and Ben was able to source them, which is why I'm in a different t-shirt, because the supplier couldn't send them on the same day, but he could get the belts the following day. So I thought, you know what, I like trains. I don't love trains quite as much as Rick on the Agatha and Anything channel, but I like trains. I do a lot of travel by trains. In fact, since buying more and more classic cars and selling classic cars occasionally, I found I've been on trains more than ever, which is a bit ironic because surely I've got cars, but it's to do with obviously getting cars somewhere or picking cars up. So anyway, I caught the train back to Derbyshire, and I've gone back today, of course, to pick it up. Because Jack took one look at the belts. Think about how small the bonnet is on Kaiko, and think about how tight, compact everything is with regards to the engine bay in Kaiko. I was wondering just how easy it would be to do the belts. Jack took a look, and as of today, picking it up, he's confirmed that, I won't use quite the phrase that he used because, you know, it's YouTube, but let's just say he said, very easy. So Kaiko's got new belts. And the ones that have come off have got every chance of being original. So, because remember, Kaiko's only on 37,000 miles, everyone. One owner, 37,000 miles. So, I think the belts will be all right for a while. Oh, and then the battery. If you've followed the story of Kaiko, and if not, why not? There'll be a playlist at the end of this video, everyone. Go and check the other videos out. When I ordered this car and I knew it was coming, and it was transported to Nagoya to get on a big roll-on, roll-off ship to go to Southampton, they take loads of high-res pictures. They want you to see what you're getting before you commit to it going on the ship, which I think is wonderful. Loads of high-res pictures, including underneath the car and including the oil on the dipstick. What more could I ask for? You genuinely know. Oh, and you get a report, of course, with a grade. This was a grade 4 car. You get a report, of course, of the condition of the car. So anyway, on one of those pictures, of course, was the underbonnet. And in that underbonnet picture, there was a pink battery. So that stood out. By the time I picked the car up from the IVA testing, or should I say converter guy, Lee, IVA services in Southampton, he'd had to change the battery because the battery was no good. That's fine. Charged me £100. The battery, I can't remember what the make was. I don't think it's a make I've ever heard of. And yes, okay, I admit Kaiko's not used very often, as we've said in the video. But the battery seemed to always need to go on trickle charge quicker than any other car that I've got. And I was never really quite happy with the battery. I purchased a battery that I thought would fit, and I got it wrong. But Ben, while the car was there, of course, was able to source a battery that did fit. So Kaiko has also got a new battery. So I think now Kaiko is doing very well indeed. In fact, when you check the oil, because if you think the oil, since the last oil change, we've done, what did we say, over 300 miles? The oil, which remember, still ages, so it was like 2.5 years old or whatever. Checking the oil on the dipstick at the moment is quite difficult because it's so clean. And I like that because I'm sad. But it is the lifeblood of the engine, isn't it? So that's the update as far as Smart-TECHNIC's concerned. In fact, I forgot I wanted a sticker for the back of the car that says Smart-TECHNIC, like I've got on the smart cars. I wanted to confuse people looking at a K car and going, why has it gone to Smart-TECHNIC? Anyway, let's talk about parts availability. So it is a common question, and I've been asked it a lot in the comments, and I've definitely been asked it at shows. It's a good question, it's an obvious question, and I'm sure it's one that puts many people off. Before I say my bit about the Daihatsu, if you're watching this and you've got a K car, let's say it's a Honda N-Box, or what's another one that I like? The Suzuki, oh, what's it called? It's gone out my head, but I'll put it at the bottom of the video. Let me know in the comments if you own one of those, or any K vehicle, K truck or whatever, that's not Daihatsu. Let me know if you ever source parts from a main dealer. I'm interested to know whether Honda main dealers will source you parts for an imported car. The gut feeling is they probably will. Of course, you'll pay main dealer prices, but they probably will. The problem that we have with Daihatsu is Daihatsu pulled out of the UK in the late 2010-ish, whatever, 2015, 16, 18, whatever. There are no Daihatsu dealers in the UK. So even if, had they still have been there, they would have helped me out. There aren't any to help me out. Please let me know in the comments, or if you have a Daihatsu K car or K truck, let me know in the comments where you source your parts from or where you would recommend. What I found personally for me that works is, because what doesn't work for me is lots of people have sent me links to online systems where you can put in the details and they'll find the parts and you'll get the parts and it's all good. every time I've tried one of those, thank you for sending them to me, but every time I've tried one of those, it comes to this car and it doesn't seem to want to recognise the Tanto. I don't know why. They're everywhere in Japan. It doesn't want to recognise it. That's how it is. So what I've done is, and I'm going to let you know in the next video how I get on with it, I am trying Andrew's Japanese cars. If you follow K-Cars on YouTube, you'll probably know of Andrew's Japanese cars. I'll put a link in the description below. I think his actual company name is it's something really funny, like Enjoyment in Cars or something like that. I am trying his service because on his website, where of course you can buy an imported car that he happens to have for sale, and you can probably ask him what you want, and then maybe he can source them. He has an online parts inquiry form, and I used that the other day because the discs and front pads, so the front pads and discs on this car, the discs, they're getting a bit, they've got an edge to them. They're obviously original. I would like to treat Keiko to new front discs and pads. Incidentally, when she was MOT'd, I got Tony at Ford's garage, that did the MOT, to have a look at the rear drums for me because, again, we wouldn't know what they're like. I've never seen what the condition is of the rear drums on Keiko. So he obviously had a check, give them a clean, give them a bit of an adjustment, and he says they're absolutely fine. So if I get the discs done and the pads at the front, I think we've got a really good K-car, don't you? So I am testing Andrew's Japanese cars. I will let you know in a future video how I get them, because I've got top quality discs and pads and a couple of other bits I'll explain in a future video coming from Japan. Now, of course, the prices using Andrew, and I'm sure this goes for anyone you want to use for importing parts from Japan, you have to accept the fact that you're importing parts from Japan, unless it happens to be a part that's readily available in the UK, of course, like spark plugs. So they're not going to be as cheap. But I found the quote that came back from Andrew fair. I was willing to pay it. And of course, Andrew then takes the responsibility, because you've given him the VIN number, all the details for the car. He takes the responsibility for the parts to be correct, doesn't he? Rather than me trying to order parts online and keeping my fingers crossed and hoping for the best. So I've got every confidence I'm going to end up recommending Andrew on the next video, next update with this car. When the discs and pads have been fitted, I'll let you know. But let me know in the comments where you get your parts from if you've got a K vehicle. Or any Japanese import that's not actually available in the UK without importing it. Let me know. So yes, Keiko's finally back on the road. She's all polished up, new tyres, new oil, new filter, new belts. She's soon going to get new discs and pads. Rear drums are all good. She drives absolutely fantastic. So smooth, so easy to drive. That's it really. That's my update. Quite a long update, but you haven't seen Keiko for a while. Thank you for watching. Enjoy whatever it is you're driving. I'll see you soon.